It's my privilege to share with you some elements of creativity as it's understood really in Rabbinic Judaism. I've never seen it quite laid out like this before. I wish I had, some 40 years ago when I began my learning. It would have made things much, much more simple. But then again, I wouldn't have had the delight, the progress of wrestling it all down to ground. I'm going to talk about creativity, and it will take a short time, 15 minutes perhaps, but in those 15 minutes, my desire is to provide for you the tools to organize your creative life, to have an understanding of it. You can use it to attain to large projects. You can use it actually to minimize conflict and confusion in your own realm. It all will work. It's a way towards grace. Now, this is the essence of it. The rabbinic understanding of creativity is that creation comes to us through four worlds of experience. Imagine, for example, that you had a flash to build a new house. Wow, I really have a desire for a new house. I'm willing to go through the effort. That flash comes up here. It's almost a singularity. Bang, it's there. Later you decide, I had no idea where that ever crept into my mind to do such a thing. But once it creeps into your mind and begins to expand and develop, you reach this place, which is, it emanates out of a spiritual realm, really, and it comes down into a realm of creation. The realm of creation would be the blueprint for a house, getting the architect, getting the engineers, and ultimately resulting in a blueprint. Now, in the process of creation, you have to get from the blueprint all the way down here to where you move the furniture in. Until you move the furniture in, you don't have any house that can be used. So how does one get from here down to here? This is called the world of formation. I'm using the English terms. The world of formation is a world of feelings. And then finally you come down into the realm of physical objects. I was once working with a scholar of artificial intelligence who wasn't satisfied with this. He wanted to know the process of how one gets down from the blueprint for the house, because the blueprint is perfect and the house actually just a little bit less so, but far more usable than a blueprint. And finally we came up with the word. The word is aggravation. Aggravation is the process by which one moves from the blueprint to the object. It is all these feelings that get mixed up together. It's a realm, but it doesn't have the definition either of the world of creation or the world down here. Now, in my personal life, I don't build houses, but I do write novels. A novel is a construction of a whole world. So I have a flash idea to write a novel. The novel begins to settle into an outline, at least with an opening and a closing and a sense of the process. And then comes the real work, the wrestling between the characters and the formation that's creating a texture. And if the texture isn't subtle enough, broad enough, profound enough, have enough of a roller coaster ride, ultimately I can't find the words and settle them down in chapters and put it between hard covers. So the process of creativity moves in every field just like that, from a flash down towards a blueprint, an outline, from an outline wrestling everything down to ground. And down to ground you have all the details, all the words, all the format, and then finally the hard covers. So that's one way of moving. Now this works the other way also. Let's say you wanted to learn a discipline. The purpose of all disciplines is the same. Whether it's piano, karate, ballet, whether any discipline at all, every one of them. The ultimate goal is grace. Grace, being able to surrender to the moment and perform whatever the discipline might be. And you begin down here in the world of action, every discipline. A piano player gets up early in the morning and begins to do arpeggios, scales, loosen up the fingers. The high jumper gets up early in the morning, begins to stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch again. And then you begin to move towards the arena in which the discipline is done. And you go out onto the track field, you go to the concert hall, you put on the uniform of the day. They all have uniforms, think about it. You put on the uniform for that particular discipline, and then you begin to walk around and get the feelings up for the moment, and then you stand in the wings, you get to the end of the track, you see the high jump bar down the way, you see the Steinway, and you begin to meditate on the opening bars, on running down, beginning to move towards the bar, whatever it is, and then you're gone. And then you're down, and you're jumping, and you're playing, and you surrender to the moment, and you're gone. And then you come back. When you come back, if you've done it well, there may be, if there's an audience, thunderous applause. And for you, there will be confusion. You know, as you become aware of the applause and that you just set the world record, or you played the piano concerto, or whatever it was that you did. And there will be, let's say, a microphone in your face, and they'll say, how did you do that? And you answer, with the help of God. And you're serious. This isn't the formulaic answer, you're serious. So whether you have the flash and you're coming down like so, or whether you start on the ground and you build up like this, it's always through these four realms. First, the world of action, in Hebrew asiyah, then the world of formation, in Hebrew yetzirah, the world of creation, in Hebrew briyah, and the world of emanation, atzilut, which really means closeness to the divine spark. So, there is a formulation for this that's the most obvious formulation that we have in Hebrew. That's it. It looks a little bit better like this. But in essence, that's it. This is the divine name, in the name of God in Hebrew, written vertically. Yud, He, Vav, He. Yud at the top, the He, the Vav, the He. Yud, He, Vav, He. There's a line of Psalms that says to place the name of God over against you always. If you look at this, it looks like the stick figure of a human person. This is the world of action, where you work in the world. You walk through things. Here is the Vav, like the spinal column, feeling. This is the He, creation. And this is the Yud, the spark of divinity. It's astonishing how the name parallels everything in the four worlds. Now the Psalm suggests that you place the name of God before you always. What if you had this, much more nicely done than I've done here? And where do you put it? You put it on the wall. And it is to be before you. And let's say before you went out for your own creative work in the morning, whatever creative work it is that you have to do, you looked at it. What are you looking at? It's as if you're looking into a mirror. What you're seeing is the stick figure of yourself. We are made in the image of the divine, the text says. Here's the image of the divine. Look at it, not as a distant diagram, but look at it as if you're looking into a mirror, and you see the image of the divine imprinted on yourself. And you see where you walk in the world, your feelings, you see the ability to create, to form in this world, to create, to bring things into being, and the spark of you which is attached closest to the divine. Take the image, put it on, go out to the work of the day. Now here's one more graphic. If I really had an adequate PowerPoint, I could confuse you still more. But this is a beginning table of how the four worlds really overlap just about everything we know and everything we do. It's hard to exaggerate this. It has columns like the four children on Passover, the discipline that I've just, a literary form, narrative, metaphor, allegory, spiritual literature. The body, I've done that. The order of prayer, the way in which one learns Torah, on the narrative level first, And then Pardes, the remes, the hint, the drash, looking into it still more deeply, and finally identification with the text itself. So, this is a model for creativity. If you understand this and you learn how to separate between worlds, understand what world you're involved in at the moment, it will clarify things quite wonderfully in your life. And if you want to organize a creative project, a little sermon, an invocation, a talk to your board, a presentation, ordering it in this fashion or this fashion will bring everything into being. It'll make your presentation far more effective and your life far less with conflict. It works. Thank you very much.